Hello, Happy New Year to you all. I want to start this video with a little bit of a precursor to it, so you'll get a little bit of context. I had said in the video that this was the first time I'd been out to do any wildlife photography over Christmas and the New Year. That actually wasn't quite true. I have been out quite a lot, probably 4 to 5 times, literally to do a video for you, and I've had a shocking time. I have to say it's been one of the worst periods where whatever I've planned, however well I've planned it, it's just not come to fruition for whatever reason. Normally it's just that the wildlife wasn't there when I expected it to be. So this video was like my last attempt to try and get something, and I really was coming to the end of my tether with it, to be honest. It just wasn't working out at all. And even at this, you'll see from the start of this video, although I'd planned something that I thought potentially had a good chance of working, in the end it wasn't working. But as you'll also see in this video, hopefully you'll see anyway, that things do turn out all right in the end. And I think that's the message for this video, for those of you out there, that any type of photographers really, when you get this barren period where nothing seems to be working, sometimes it can be it's trying too hard, sometimes you're just planning too much. And really you just need to just go out somewhere and forget about videoing, forget about taking stills, and just see what happens. And just do that for a while, I think, until, you know, it starts to come back. But yeah, I was really struggling, was at the end of my tether today when I recorded this, but really did get a lovely surprise at the end. So anyway, I hope you enjoy the video. And as I say, the message is, you know, if you're out there and you're having a similar situation, don't give up with it. It will come right eventually, and you will get the shots that you're after. Morning, how you doing? Happy New Year to you all. Obviously you'll know if you watch the channel, I've not been recording over Christmas and New Year. I've been busy doing other things, some of them to do with photography, some not. But throughout that time I've been walking around my local area. I've set the dog a walk every day, so it's a good way to get some reconnaissance of sort of new areas. And I did a walk a couple of weeks ago along the edge of the Trent to a place that I'd been a couple of times before, but I'd not really considered it. But I had a better look at it over Christmas, and it's an area where there's a couple of lakes at the side of the Trent. And what I was doing, I was looking for a place where I might be able to get some kingfisher photography done, and this looked ideal. It really did. Funnily enough, as I've been up there, I've not seen any kingfishers up there, but what I did notice is there's a sort of wilder area around the back of these lakes that not a lot of people go to, and it's created a little bit of a wildlife corridor, I think. And I've seen roe deer there sort of most occasions I've been. On the lake there's also obviously grey herons and great white egrets as well, I've seen on there. So what I thought I'd do this morning for the first one of the new year is just go and explore this area a little bit more. So what I'm going to do, what the intention was to get there while it's still probably, you know, just starting to get light, a bit blue hourish, and set up at the end of this sort of wildlife corridor area and just see what comes along initially. And then obviously after I've done that, I can get down to the lake and spend an hour there under cover and see if I get anything come down to the edge of the lake. So that's the plan this morning. As I say, I've miscalculated. Well, not really miscalculated. It's just that every time I set my alarm, if I know I've got to get up, I always wake up before it. And then once I'm awake, I feel like I might as well get there. So I'm a little bit early, but far better early than late anyway. Anyway, what I'm going to do, I've got about another 3/4 of a mile to walk. I'm going to walk over to that spot now and get set up, and then I'll catch up with you when I get there. Right, I've just managed to get set up. I'm trying to be quite quiet here because it's only a small area, and I think my voice is going to travel quite a lot, even though I hope you can't hear on this microphone, but I'm literally probably 300 metres, if that, away from the A1 on that side. It's incredible how noisy it is. And if you think that 100 metres in that direction or 150 metres is the River Trent, it's a really small wildlife corridor. and it's amazing the amount of wildlife you do get in here. But very simple setup this morning. There's just this really overgrown little corridor that I'm hoping something's going to come down towards me. So all I've done is just set the tripod up just to the edge of the sort of little run path that there is through here, the little run, and just so I'm shooting over the top of a load of brambles. And just put the scrim net in, the old Tragopan bag hide, over the front of the camera. Put the lens through the hole in that, and then just draped it over the tripod, and I'm sort of hidden in behind it. So not really a very complicated setup. And I'm also using this, it's an old Wildlife Watching Supplies seat that's basically a ground seat that you unzip the sides, and it gives you something to sit on and then a bit of a backrest. I find it quite useful for this type of photography. But now it's really just a waiting game. We haven't actually got through blue hour yet into the golden hour, so just waiting for a little bit more light to hopefully give me a chance of getting some shots and something walking along this little route in front of me. But obviously this type of photography is dependent on something turning up for me to take a photograph of. So just going to wait here now into the golden hour, sunrise, and see if anything does turn up. And yeah, if it does, I'll try and get some film and some pictures. I'm having to be really quiet at the minute. My original place where I set up, not a lot happening, so I decided to make my way back home, and I'd come through the old quarry, so a slightly different route back, at which point I saw a roe deer, which is what I'm filming now. She was on top of one of the mounds I saw, you know, when they excavate gravel pits or quarries, they'll mound all the soil up around the actual excavation. Well, obviously this is 20-30 years ago that this was done, and it's all overgrown, and she was laid up there, and I couldn't believe that. I kept sort of getting closer to her in little steps, and she kept looking away, and I'd get a little bit closer, and then when I got to the mound of soil opposite the one that she was on, I thought, well, there's no way she's going to let me get up on top of there, because I couldn't get a clear shot. So I'm just filming her now, and actually she's just taken off, which I'm quite pleased about, actually, because it means I can not crouch down as far. But I was beginning to think there might be something wrong with her, whether she'd got an injured leg or something, and she just wasn't moving. But I think what it was, she was just sunning herself in the sun up there, and she was, you know, so much enjoying that nice warm sunshine on her that she didn't really want to move, didn't see me as a particular threat. I was nice and quiet. When I came up the bank in here, I kept really low and just did it in little stages and slowly. And she was quite tolerant for me to get a couple of images and a little bit of film, which obviously is what you're seeing now. So yeah, really pleased for that. On a day where, you know, it's been a struggle. That can be the thing on a new area they've not been to before. It can be really hard work, and you've just got to stick at it. I was struggling this morning, I have to admit, and I've been out a couple of times over Christmas to try and get some film and some images, and it's just been blanking every time. It's been really hard. And although, you know, this isn't spectacular, it's a little bit unusual for this to happen. As I say, I'm not used to them being that tolerant, so to get some images and some film in that situation is quite nice, really. So yeah, I'll take that today, and I think now it's time to make my way home and get some breakfast. But if I see anything else on the way back, obviously I'll get back to you. But other than that, yeah, I'll catch up with you in a minute. Right, I'm going to make my way back home now. I don't think I'm going to see anything else. Although I could do when I get over the little beck there, but if I do, I'll stick those images up at the end. And actually, what's that? It looks like that looks like a sparrowhawk coming down the hedge. It's a way away, but it's coming this way. Just hold on a second. If I can get it to lock on. Oh, I think that's a kestrel, but it's coming down the hedge. It's a little bit slower than a... And she's veering away. She's coming over towards me. That looks actually like a reasonable image there. It was a kestrel, but I couldn't understand what it was coming down the hedge like literally just like a sparrowhawk does, just below the top of the hedge on one side, and then it flipped over the other and then flipped back. Really, really reminiscent of what you see sparrowhawks doing, but obviously this time it was a kestrel, and then it came over towards me. So that's quite a nice image actually. Quite pleased with that. So nice one to end the day. Well, this time I will end the video there. I hope you've enjoyed this one, the first one of 2023. I hope you have a good year. I'm hoping to have a good photography year this year. Loads of things planned. As I say, with my daughter being up near the Cairngorms now, potentially quite a few trips up in that direction to do some work up there as well. So really looking forward to it. I hope you're looking forward to the videos that I've got coming up, and I'll see you for the next one fairly shortly. Bye. Right. Oh. I'm a bit flabbergasted actually. I suppose what I want to say after ending this video once already is that you should never ever give up on wildlife photography. I've had a shocker of a day really, and to be honest, it's the third attempt to get a video done over this Christmas period, and I've just seen nothing. It's been absolutely awful. And today again, as you saw from the rest of the video, pretty sparse until I saw that roe deer, which sort of made up for it. And I was just coming back and then saw the kestrel, and I thought, well, that's it. And I was just making my way through the quarry. And I have to say, I'll explain a few things now. The hat, that really goes back to 2010. What it says on the hat is Mustelids Appreciation Society, which is I suppose a fictitious society set up by myself and my daughter when she found out that I absolutely loved stoats. And that comes from back in 2010, and actually my daughter Leia was here at the time. This is how long ago it was. She was in, whether she was in junior school or the first year of secondary school, and basically the schools were shut because there was so much snow. And I asked her if she wanted to come out for a walk, and I took the camera out with me, and we came up to actually this quarry, and we were just on his way back, and this rabbit shot out towards us from under these old container units, and it saw us and then immediately put its brakes on and shot back in the direction it had come from, running directly into a stoat which was obviously chasing it. And I felt really guilty because obviously we hadn't been there, it had been away, but it ran directly back into the stoat, which bit it round the back of the neck. I mean, it took it 5 minutes to kill it, and my daughter was like 10, 11 at the time, and I got some pictures at the time, not very good pictures actually. If I can find one, I'll stick one up now of that and you'll see the quality. But ever since that time, and basically I said to my daughter at the time, are you all right with that? You know, because obviously it's seeing another animal killing another one. And basically she just said to me, well, that's nature, Dad, which, you know, she's got her head screwed on right, it is. And yeah, so ever since then she's done me these things at Christmas. So this year was the hat, which is the Mustelid Appreciation Society, which I think we're the only 2 members, but it's a little thing between ourselves. So anyway, from that story, I'm just coming back today in the same quarry, and there's a rabbit runs in front of me, this time across in front of me, and then it lays flat, and then the next minute there's a stoat. And I did the rabbit was away and gone, and then this stoat shot past, and I did a few little squeaks and managed to get its attention, and managed to get a bit of film and some images. And I haven't seen a stoat for what seems like months and months now, could be close to a year, and to see one in the exact same place that actually got me enthused about stoats in the first place, when I'm having such a difficult time, when I've got my new hat on, Mustelid Appreciation Society, it must be fate. I'm so pleased, because up until that point it was really, really hard, and I've been having a really barren period. But yeah, if there's any message in that, it's, yeah, don't give up. Your luck will change, and when it does, you can be presented with things like that. So that's made my month already. Yeah, thank you, wildlife gods. I really needed that. Anyway, that is me done for today. I hope you have a good week. I'll see you next time. Until then, bye.